In Genshin, there is pretty much nothing that excites me as much as new artifacts. True, I can hear you through the screen. It's a type of release that hides pretty much unlimited layers of RNG behind it. But it's the prospect of giving characters I like unexpected and interesting upgrade that makes it so compelling. Specifically, the new artifacts of each region are what encapsulate this the best, because they tend to be more versatile than others in terms of possible uses. While these uses mostly extend to new characters from that region, they're so great that they can be convenient picks even for previously released characters, and that's exactly what I'm going to analyze primarily today. First and foremost, I've already made a video analysis regarding new artifacts, and that was before they got buffed in beta. For the most part, the things I said there stayed true, but this video will be an update to that with a more thoughtful and complete analysis. Let's go in the same order as last time. The Marechaussee artifact set, don't punish me if I said this wrong, increases your normal and charge attack damage with its 2-piece effect, while the 4 pieces effect increases your crit rate when your HP changes, up to 3 times, be it HP loss or heals. This is quite flexible in terms of possible uses, but the character I focalized on in my first video was Xiao. Back then I stated that it was an upgrade for Xiao, and I mainly got a type of specific comment in response to this claim. It was coming from, how should I call them? Unfaithful viewers, who thought I didn't know how the artifact set worked, and I didn't know it didn't buff plunge damage for Xiao directly. Guys, come on now. To this I have 3 answers. First, damn you for believing I'm so dumb. Second, using a normal attack before a plunge is not unusual for Xiao, especially in single target, since it's a very fast attack that can be cancelled early through jumps. And either way, as I'll show you, the new set doesn't even need this aspect to keep up. In fact, the issue with the new artifact set is a totally different one. Since Xiao gets a lot of crit rate for free from Ascension stat and main weapons that happen to have crit rate stats, that leaves him with limited flexibility in terms of artifact substats with the new sets. This becomes even worse if you count the Abyss cards that give crit rate in the equation, which generally account for a little more than 2 substats. As you can see on the infographic, however, even in combos where it doesn't use any normal attacks, in the optimal scenario, the new set performs very well. While this scenario is manageable for Jade Winged Spear, since it doesn't give that much crit rate, with Deathmatch we're bordering on the limit of impossibility, since even just 1 crit rate substat will make you reach the cap with it, and any further one will be wasted. For all the other weapons that don't buff crit rate, the set will generally perform as well as the best case scenario of Jade Winged Spear, so overall it's a pretty nice upgrade for all the people that use weapons like Homa on Xiao. Otherwise, it's without a doubt a set you'll have to farm a lot to get the right stats off. Other uses of the new set involve the new Fontaine characters that have specific HP loss mechanics. While it's not the best option on all of them, since some of them also have options that released very recently, it's fair to say that Fontaine units in general will have the means to take advantage of the new set. Another case I wanted to analyze here is Hu Tao. As someone pointed out in the comments last time, there are compositions where Hu Tao uses Bennett, specifically hyper compositions with just 1 Hydro support. These are very high ceiling compositions that lead to incredible single target damage, as they maximize the output of Hu Tao specifically. In this scenario, Hu Tao can pretty much get 3 stacks in the first 2 seconds through elemental skill activation and Bennett heals, and in general will have uptime for the set for 7 seconds minimum. If she gets hit at any point during that duration, that will extend the uptime of the set and possibly make it last for her entire rotation. When the set is at full stacks, it becomes a quite compelling option for her, beating even a strong artifact like Shimenawa in terms of normal and charge attack damage alone. Overall, in my opinion, this set is really interesting. While it might not stand out like the Emblem of Severed Fate set did back in 2.0, it's a very strong option for some pre-existing characters and assumedly a great one for most of the future Fontaine characters. Let's move on to the second set now. This one, the Golden Troupe, is very straightforward. With the full set effect, it will buff elemental skill damage for its wielders by a big amount, and granted they've not stayed on field for longer than 2 seconds, it will buff them even more. This one is pretty clearly meant for off-field elemental skill damage dealers, which is an aspect that makes it a big pick for a specific character, Yae Miko. Not only Yae is a character who spends time on field on some of her best teams, specifically the double electro quicken ones, but she's also a character who has a relevant percentage of her total output coming from the elemental burst. So, depending on the scenario, the benefits of the new set can vary wildly compared to a more consistent option like Gilded Dreams. In the worst case scenario, so an on-field type of usage where she bursts every rotation, the set does quite poorly, but it gets better in strictly off-field roles, especially in scenarios where the reliance on her burst diminishes, like in cases where she only uses it once every 2 rotations. I also added constellations to this breakdown, since some of them specifically increase her elemental skill damage. However, at Constellation 2 for off-field roles, she will be able to use her burst pretty much every rotation, because her Constellation 1 gives her a huge energy refund which makes it much more easily manageable. Honestly, the only point where this set becomes an unquestionable upgrade for her is at Constellation 6, where her elemental skill attacks get a defense reduction modifier, and pretty much become her only source of damage in speedrun contexts as a result. Other scenarios for the new set include characters like Fischl, Nahida and Albedo, and it's a great option for all of them, specifically for Fischl, who didn't even really have an established set before this one. For her, the increase reaches an immense 17%, goddamn! A pretty much unseen value for a character that was already plenty strong before this buff. For Nahida, it's a comparison with Gilded Dreams, since that's her best set for damage, but since generally you want to use her with the Deepwood set, this might not matter for you. For Albedo, it beats the Husk set by a bit, which is very impressive considering how specific that set is for him and for his best weapon, Spindle, which benefits from defense buffs. Either way, I presume this set will be a great pick for elemental skill damage dealers pretty much until the end of times, just like Emblem is the main pick for most elemental burst damage dealers, so it's a good idea to get a lot of great pieces of it. Overall, Fontaine didn't disappoint with the artifacts. At face value, they are incredibly strong, and at real value, while they hide some caveats you have to deal with in order to optimize their damage, they have really great potential, so their domain will be a great spot where to sacrifice your resin to the devil in for the foreseeable future. I'm done for today. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, a comment and subscribe. See you next time!